Original versus definitive, which version is better when completing Wear Flowers in Your Hair? In this mission you enter your newly acquired garage in San Fierro. Your gang gives you an idea and you set off with the truth on a mechanic hunt. First you visit Jethro, who is working on a tow truck. You take a trip to the hospital and look around. You meet Dwayne at his hot dog van. You visit the best place in the world, the police station. You pay a visit to Zero. And finally you drop off your dudes at your garage. We'll compare tasks, execution, speedrun tactics and gameplay. Both games are vanilla, played on PC. My name is BadInfo, so leave a like and subscribe for more comparison videos. Now let's see how Wear Flowers in Your Hair compares between both versions. Alright, firstly we get a glance at the garage from the outside and immediately we see how old and busted it is in the original. This is the idea, as the characters say it's a dump and looks like one. In the definitive it looks newly painted, however the windows are still busted, which is a plus. Once we go inside, take a look at the window behind the ladder. It's almost completely transparent, it lets you see that there's a second room in the garage where CJ can enter. This same room is invisible in the definitive because the windows are not transparent. You cannot see inside and you won't know it's there. Once again, the garage looks a bit more run down in the original, but in the definitive there are still traces of neglect all over the place. Something which really bugs me is how in the definitive cutscenes all extra doors of the garage are closed. Only the one which you enter from stays open and the rest are not. This is different from the original where you can see the outside, and while there's not much to see, having it fully open gives the cutscene more depth. Also, like I said, the garage also seems to be packed with all sorts of stuff in the background, like shelves, tires, boxes, crates, buckets and more. I thought this place was supposed to be a dump? I guess not. Lastly on the garage, the light shining from the ceiling. This looks incredible, it adds a lot to the cutscene and I love it when I see it in cutscenes. This effect was very visible in Los Santos for instance. And of course this is not in the definitive and new lights were added. With the lights we also get these new metal beams as well, which I do really like. They are pretty inconsistent in the original because we can't see them everywhere, but in the definitive they are everywhere, which is a plus. As for the characters, not much to say, they look like plastic in the definitive. Caesar's tattoos are painted on with a marker, the truth looks like a kid with a fake beard, Caesar has a monobrow. Yeah, a monobrow. The only positive I guess on the characters is how Kendall got a boob job in the definitive, so yay I guess. Outside I give you a car which is always fully red. Well, not in the definitive because it's bugged. In fact, many cars are bugged where some colors like the gas cap and the doors are completely black. One thing which always bugged me about the truth is how menacing he looks with his eyes open. He looks ridiculous. Luckily at least this was fixed in the definitive, and if you excuse the childlike features and fake beard, his eyes are proper. Next we have the tow truck. It's open, a white color, and Jethro is working underneath. I know what you're thinking and I know what you're expecting. The hood is gonna be closed and it's not gonna be smoking in the definitive, huh? Well, no, it's actually a red color while everything else is the same. This includes Jethro. Something else I really hate in the definitive is how the reflections on windows completely block off characters who are talking. This was the worst in the Green Saber and it's a bit better here, but come on man, couldn't they just remove the reflections for cutscenes like this? The originals have completely clear windows and you can see everybody clearly. Alright, now I have a question. Do you know the only reason for this shot? The only reason we have it is so we can see the sign spin, how it's mechanical and there is something nice to look at as the guys are talking. Well, this is the definitive. Yep, static. I actually thought my game was frozen the first time I saw it, but nope, it's just not moving. Pure laziness. In the hospital and police station cutscenes, the truth still has ridiculous menacing eyes, and while the definitive has annoying reflections, the eyes are still an improvement. The hot dog truck is very rusty and old looking in the original, while in the definitive it looks way more saturated, brighter, and it looks newly painted. The Wayne in the original knows how to properly smoke a joint, while in the definitive he puffs some air. For some reason, his joint does not even touch his mouth. Alright, so how did this go through? Come on! Test your game, guys, before you publish it! This is ridiculous. Also, they completely forgot about the joint when he approaches the car. See? Empty hands throughout. In the original, the whole time he's holding it and it gives out smoke. When he takes off, he always bonks into the light pole in the original, but he never did it in the definitive with all my tries. Personally, I always found the bonk funny since it fits his character since he's supposed to be high, so he bonks into things, but whatever, it's not such a big issue that he doesn't in the definitive. When the zero cutscene starts, you can see the house icon behind him, but in the original nothing is there, it only appears outside a cutscene. Alright, so here is the most ridiculous thing. You drop off the guys, they enter the garage and they look around. All is fine and dandy. In the definitive, could you tell me how they went through a closed door? And please don't say, oh, they closed it quickly. No, they were walking forward, the door was closed and they were inches away from it. This is impossible. In both versions, the guys are mopping the air. The brooms are not touching the ground, it's a bit more visible in the definitive, but it's a flaw in both versions, and that's pretty crappy. Oh, and yes, Caesar and CJ are heading to a closed door. In the original they are not. Alright, so how is the speedrun? The point of a speedrun is to complete the mission as fast as possible, right? So what do? You drive well, you take shortcuts and also skip cutscenes. All 8 of them. Do you see what I'm going with this? For some dumb reason, the mission with the most cutscenes in the game has unskippable cutscenes. Out of all 8 cutscenes, you can only skip the opening and closing ones, so 6 are unskippable. A speedrunner's nightmare. The rest of the mission, however, is the same. As for which version is better, obviously that would be the original. I only saw one significant improvement in the definitive, and that is the truth's eyes. But even with that, the rest of his body is laughable, so there's no chance it's winning this one. So what do you guys think? I see it hard to argue, but I know the definitive fanboys will find a way. For real though, if you guys disagree, I'm open to hear it and I would like to hear what your point of view is. Leave a like if you enjoyed, thank you for watching, and a very special thank you to Raintes, Painu Chiha, Monish Pradeep, Officer FT, Epic LF, Case Nice, Shinte, Clint McCurley, Clint Pentacles, Jacob Madlik, Rizaki Ori, Max Robinson, Jim Francescos, Ola Velikanen and everybody else on the screen.